Hello and welcome to another episode of Not Another Nutrition Podcast. The reason I say another with some emphasis is, and it probably seems a bit weird to you, so I'm just going to shake my shake. I've just come back from the gym. The reason I say another is because I'm recording them in such close proximity to each other and in such high frequency. Like, this is the, I suppose in a way, fourth recording I've done today. And because I've got no schedule, I don't know when I'm going to release them. I'm just recording stuff that I think will be helpful to people. And I've already thought of the title of this one. Often I don't think of an exact title. It's just amusing. But this is going to be called, something like the podcast I wish I had when I was competing in bodybuilding. Now, the reason that is because, I'll just finish what I was saying. The reason I'm saying another nutrition podcast another podcast is just because I'm probably going to release these like once a week. And, I've almost got a quarter of a year's content within a week or two. Anyway, so I've just got back from the gym, setting the scene for you. Just got back from the gym. And it's, what time is it? 7 p.m. I woke up, I slept in this morning because I went to bed at 5 and 3 the last two nights. I had 5 hours sleep the night before. Last night I went to bed a bit earlier, 3, and was up by, I think, 9 or 10. 9, I think. So just the reason I'm saying that is 9 o'clock. So I've been awake for 10 hours. And again, just setting the scene. So then I recorded some podcasts that just popped into my head. And then I didn't get to the gym until late. So all I had was some Monster. So no, actually I woke up and had 50 grams of whey, then had Monster. Then it got to like 4 p.m. I was like, geez, I haven't gone to the gym yet. I was like, okay, I'll quickly have some. And I've recorded the reason for this. So I'm obviously doing this aggressive diet. So realistically, things like porridge don't normally fit into the aggressive nature. There'd just be such a small amount of porridge. But for whatever reason, I had the porridge. It must have been about 60 grams. I'm not really tracking, so I don't really pay attention to stuff. It's made of skim milk. But let's say 200 to 250 calories at a guess. This is the first time I've worked out my calories up until this point. So 50 grams of whey, let's call that 200 calories, slightly less. And then the porridge with the skim milk and about 10 cashew nuts, just like a really small handful. So we'll call it 20 grams of cashew nuts to exaggerate, make sure we're above. And this is what you should do. This is the problem. We always underestimate stuff. So just purposely overestimate. So you always know if you're doing stuff like this, I mean. So that would be like 120 calories, for instance, with the porridge, and 120? Yeah, about 120-ish. And then the porridge, so say like 250 approximately, or let's say 280, shall we? That's 400 plus the way I'm beginning, 600, and then some chicken. So let's say 750 calories total. And then I went to the gym. It's now 7 p.m, 10 hours into the day. I'm having some 50 grams of whey now. My point being is, I'm training on very low calories. I train very slow, but caffeine fueling me. And there is this isn't what I wanted to talk about, but there's often a mentality of I'm dieting. So you go into the gym feeling like, oh, it's not as good, or this, that, and the other. There's a big mental game. Don't think like that. In life, with happiness, with energy, with enthusiasm you put into your work, whether you like your job or not, just pick yourself up and do it. Sometimes, I'm not big into tough love at all. But sometimes you do need to look inside yourself just for that little bit extra. I didn't really have to do that because I had loads of caffeine and I'm high on life. But I'm just, saying for you, and when we feel down, sometimes you just got to make that decision, take the first step in that direction. But anyway, went to the gym, trained on those low calories. And then when I got back from the gym, this is the main thing I wanted to say, is when I'm just going to do a little sound and battery check, because my phone was on like 9% battery before I started this, is it's going to be quick for once. I was going to say that's what she said, but I thought against it because it's not really what she said, is it? I was going to just go and get myself some squashies, the jelly sweets that I'm in love with. And because I've been having them a few days in a row. And the reason I'm doing that is because I sort of want to just reduce food demonization. I don't want to sexualize, sex up, make sexy the idea of eating junk food. I don't want to do that. That's really not what I want to do. And I think people maybe go too far sometimes with flexible dieting and that kind of stuff, that it's almost, look how much junk I can eat. We still need to eat nutritious foods. But I want to show, with just a moderate amount of those, I shouldn't use the word moderate because I go on about it so much. That was a bit reverting to type. But just with a small amount, just for me, every single day, it's these things do not stop you losing fat. They are not toxic. The sweeteners in the Monster aren't losing me fat. The sugar and the additives in the squashies aren't making me lose fat. Stopping me lose fat. The carbs in the porridge aren't stopping me lose fat. The dairy isn't causing inflammation, which is stopping me losing fat. All these things, I just want to demystify. It's just boring stuff. I'm sure through watching my podcast, there's loads of intricacies and nuances within nutrition, within the mindset, and all this kind of jazz. But it's relatively mathematical what we need to do. People want to lie to you about hormones and toxins and all this jazz, and it's just not what matters. And when you think it is and you struggle, you go to these stupid things and it takes your eye off the prize, off the goal, off the process, off the things that matter. And that is what's undermining you, a lot of you. And I wish I knew. And sorry, this is the thing that made me walk in here, right? The chicken I had was packet chicken covered in tikka stuff. So it tastes really nice. And I had some sweet chili stuff yesterday and some barbecue stuff yesterday. But as a bodybuilder and the clean eating crowd, you're often told, no sauces, no, it's spices and nothing else. But yet you're eating 80 grams of brown rice, which tastes like ass. Not the good kind of ass. Just horrible. I'll just have a little bit less of the brown rice, which is disgusting, and just have some barbecue sauce on my chicken, and then the whole meal is more of a pleasant, normal experience. And yet it's unbelievable. Double check again. That people are sent on this horrific road of not having certain foods, and you can have dextrose in your post-workout shake, but you can't have any sweets. It's just you're having dextrose, but you won't have some potato for dinner. And it just leads to people having these food issues and not enjoying the process, and just not realizing that when you bring it back to a numbers game, right? Of course, we need to eat nutritious whole foods, but when you bring it back to a numbers game, it doesn't matter whether it's frigging, grass-fed quinoa or sprouted salmon or a squashy or some barbecue sauce on my chicken Or flipping, what's something else that gimps talk about? Pine nuts for boosting testosterone. I'd mentioned the idiot who goes on about that in another podcast. Whether it's a pine nut or some flipping butter or, whatever else, some skin on my chicken. People just need to hear this. And realize that they can make the process a lot more enjoyable if they dial it back, get rid of the noise of all these other gimps out there, and just listen to sane advice that you'll get from the good MNU certified nutritionists out there, or me on my podcast and stories. I'm honestly going to leave it there. I'm a bit panicked about, I don't want to have wasted 10 minutes. Earlier I recorded one thing and it cut off halfway through and I've lost it, and I just don't have the motivation to re-record it right now anyway. And so I'm going to leave it there. Super short, super simple. And I want you to share this around. I'm asking you, share this. Send this to people who are clean eating and ruining their relationship with food. Even if they don't realize it now, send it to coaches who are giving these stupid plans with all these foods that are off plan and demonized. Send it to your friends and family, your mum, your sister, your brother, your dad, who think they have to eat boring food to be healthy. Boring food to lose body fat even. Cool. Sending you much love. Until next time.